Take a look at the person next to you and say, God loves you and I love you too. Now feel the love in the sanctuary. Lift your voice and repeat after me. We come together, 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 we come together. In the name of love, we come together, 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 we come together. In the name of love. Now look at the person next to you. Say, I recognize the God in you. Feel the love in the sanctuary. Now lift your voice and repeat after me. Oh, we come together, we come together, we come together, we come together, we come together. In the name of love, we come together, we come together, we come together, we come together, we come together. In the name of love, from every walk of life, every walk of life, every creed and color, every creed and color. In kinship we unite, in honor of the God in each other. Take a look at the person next to you. Say, namaste, I bow to you. I feel the love in the sanctuary. Feel the love in the sanctuary. Lift your voice and repeat after me. Oh, we come together. 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 In the name of love, we come together. 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 In the name of love, we come together. 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 In the name of love, we come together. We come together. We come together. We come together. We come together.
Ah, what a glorious day to be here, right? As we come together in the name of love. So I'm the Reverend Glenda Walden. I am from Evansville, Indiana, and my home is in Henderson, Kentucky. So you get to giggle whenever I say things like fine and have some pie. I'm so glad that you guys have joined us here this morning. Welcome to our online audience. We are delighted that you've taken time out of your Sunday morning to be with us this morning. Let's fill ourselves with spirit as we stand up and sing our welcoming song, I Allow, with Kim Shar Meredith.
This morning, let's allow the goodness of Spirit to move within us. It's always here. And right now we choose to allow. I allow goodness to come in. I am ready to receive. I allow goodness to come in. I believe, I believe, I believe. I allow love into my life. surrender in my soul. I let go, I let go, I let go. Say welcome, welcome hope and faith. Welcome loving ways. Welcome hope and faith. Yes. And welcome loving ways. I allow goodness to come in. I am ready to receive. I allow goodness to come in. I believe, I believe, I believe, I believe. And I believe, I believe, I believe. One more time. I believe, I believe, I believe.
Be seated. We light our Christ candle to remind us of the light within us, the light that we are, and joining hearts and minds together across the many miles with our sister church, Unity of Louisville in Louisville, Kentucky. I invite you to take a deep breath in, let it out, becoming fully present to this moment. Close your eyes, bow your head if that is part of your faith tradition, as we open in prayer. We breathe into that power and that presence, allowing Spirit to fill us with hope, faith, joy, love. In this quiet moment, we open our hearts to our sister community in Louisville, Kentucky. We open our hearts to the Ukraine, to those in Russia, to the mothers, daughters, and wives that have sent their loved ones into battle, for the children impacted by the chaos around them. We know that our unity principles teach us that there is nowhere that God is not. And so with open hearts, we send our love across the ocean, knowing that God is in the midst of our brothers and sisters. We lift our hearts in gratitude and appreciation for this time together, for the freedom to be a community, the freedom to live the truth principles as we understand them in this moment. We are so blessed and so grateful. And so it is, all women, all children, amen.
Good morning, and welcome to Unity. We're so glad you're here to join us today for our worship, and we extend a special welcome to those of you visiting today for the first time. On your way in today, you should have received a welcome packet, and we also have a gift for you, so please see one of our greeters after the service. We are also blessed and grateful to have an online following. If you are inspired by Unity of Springfield's message, please be sure to share our Sunday service on social media platforms, and we thank you. Unity is a worldwide spiritual movement. We are an inclusive community, and we welcome all people. I have a few announcements this morning. Tuesday at 11, we host our Silent Unity prayer service in Zoom. Wednesday at 5:30, Karen is leading the gathering meditation via Zoom. There will be an SOS Winter Warming Shelter Team planning meeting today after the service in Kane Hall. You are invited to join in the monthly drumming circle with Peggy Tell on Thursday, March 17th at 6 o'clock, and that will be held in Kane Hall. The membership renewal cards have been mailed out to members for your signature, so please be sure to return to the office in order to maintain your voting privileges at the annual meeting. Emails are sent out weekly that have information on how to join in events. Also, check out our website for up-to-date information at unityofspringfield.org, all small letters. Creating our lives and our world through the thoughts and beliefs we hold in mind is a spiritual principle we practice at Unity of Springfield. And we also know this truth together: there is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, God, the source of all good. And our vision statement together: a world powerfully transformed through the growing movement of shared spiritual awakening. And our mission statement: we recognize God is love, individualized in all people. Therefore, we provide a positive environment for spiritual growth that empowers all to be God's love in the world. Now Linda will share with us our daily word. Oh, it's going to be Mary. Okay, Mary.
Good morning. The daily word for today, Sunday, March 6, 2022, is glory. My life celebrates the glory of God. Glory fills the world with wonder when I attune my senses to it. I hear it in the sound of waves crashing on a beach and in the resonant harmony of a choir. I see it in sunrises and sunsets, in the beauty of gardens, mountains, and forests, and in the eyes of parents holding their newborn child. I feel glory in the depths of my being at those moments when I understand my life as God's life, living in me. There is no place where my human self ends and the divine presence in me begins. God and I are one. The glory of God is revealed in me as I release the thought that I am only human. God's glory shines through me as the divine presence, the Christ, expressing in my healthy body, my insightful mind, and my loving heart. And from Galatians 2:20, and it is no longer I who live, but it is Christ who lives in me. Wow, huh? The daily word for today is glory, and can we all say the affirmation together? My life celebrates the glory of God.
What a great reminder that we are indeed God in action in this world. So I'm going to ask you to prepare for meditation by singing Karen Drucker's song, I Send My Love.
I send my love over the mountains. I send my love over the sea. I send my love into the heavens, and it returns to me. I send my love.
Imagine with each breath that you are
I send my love
sending your love out.
over the sea. I send my love into the heavens, and it returns to me. I send my joy over the mountains. I send my joy over the sea. I send my joy into the heavens, and it returns to me. I send my power over the mountains. I send my power over the sea. I send my power into the heavens, and it returns to me. I send peace over the mountains. I send peace over the sea. I send peace into the heavens, and it returns to me. I send my passion over the mountains. I send my passion over the sea. I send my passion into the heavens, and it returns to me. I send my love over the mountains. I send my love over the sea. I send my love into the heavens, and it returns to me, and it returns to me.
Close your eyes, or cast your gaze to the ground. Becoming aware of your breath, breathing into this holy moment, allowing your mind to settle. With each breath, knowing that you are light in presence and love in essence. Breathing into that love of the one power and the one presence. Allowing that love to fill you up and spill over. With slow and deliberate consciousness, send your love. Send your love to your friends and your family. Send your love into this community. See this wave of our collective love moving through the community of Springfield. Waves of love moving across the state of Illinois, flowing across the United States as our love joins the love of others. And see this love as an ocean of light spanning our globe, touching each member of our human family. We are light in presence and love in essence. Bask in that as we take a few minutes in the silence. I send my love over the mountains. I send my love over the sea. I send my love up to the heavens, and it returns to me. Breathe in that light of the one power and the one presence, and know yourself as love in essence. Becoming aware of the chair that you're sitting upon, awareness to your breath, awareness to this present moment. I invite you, when you are ready, to open your eyes and return to this space. I love you. I just love being here. Thank you so much. I didn't scare you off last time, so thank you so much for having me back. I'm going to try to behave myself and stay in one spot. That's really, my daughter and my wife can tell you that I never stand in one spot for too long. So I'm going to do my best, because I'm going to be respectful of our online audience and not walk off the camera, which I have done a few times. So does anyone know why this Sunday is more special than most? Anyone know? Lent. It is. It is indeed the first Sunday in Lent. So for all of my Bible scholars, where do you find Lent? Is my mic not on? Okay. Oh, that means I really have to stand still. Okay. I can do this. Everyone here is going to pray for me, right? I stand in front of the mic. All right. Does anyone know where Lent is in the Bible? Anybody know? It's because it's not there. That was a trick question. We actually didn't begin to celebrate Lent until 313 AD at the Council of Nicaea. In the fifth canon, there is a word that I'm going to do my very best not to slaughter. Tessaracanta, which means 40. And it is representative of the 40 days that Jesus spent in the wilderness. Now, he did not spend 40 days in the wilderness and then go get crucified. I just want to clarify that. Although we celebrate the 40 days before Easter, we do that for an entirely different reason. What else happened in 40 days? Let's see how many of my Sunday school graduates into adulthood know where else we find 40. Yes, it rained for 40 days and nights. Chillins. I think it's like Children was the song that we sang in Sunday school, right? It rained for 40 days and nights. In fact, the number 40 shows up in the Bible 106 times, right? A lot. Now, the interesting thing about the writers, you notice I said writers of the Bible, is that they would use numbers to represent spiritual ideas. And so if something like the number 7 occurred a lot, it was trying to get a point across. So 7 is how many days it took to create the earth, right? So 7 is completion. The number 40 is considered a 4-square number. Some of you that are as old as I am can remember the 4-square church movement. There used to be a movement called 4-square. 4-square indicates a foundation. So 4 is a foundational number. 0 is the number of transformation, possibility before anything gives birth. It is that field of possibility that we live in. And so the number 40 represents building a foundation from which we can transform. And so Lent, this time of Lent, is a time for transformation. We heard about Noah. The 10 Commandments came after Moses had fasted for 40 days. Elijah, after 40 days fasting, he had a special audience with God. Jesus, after 40 days in the wilderness, began his public ministry, the ministry that we follow, the ministry of healing, the ministry of discovering our wholeness, discovering our divinity. 40 days in Lent is based on a passage from Matthew 4, 1 through 2. Then Jesus was led up by the Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted by the devil. He fasted for 40 days and 40 nights, and afterwards he was famished. Lent is an invitation for us to enter the wilderness. So the wilderness, Charles Fillmore, our co-founder, described the wilderness as all of those uncultivated, unconscious thoughts that we have. Anybody ever get lost in your head? Oh, good. I'm so glad I am not alone this morning. So that wilderness, anybody ever get confused about what they needed to do next? Anyone ever feel like they're in chaos? Right? Right? That's all those thoughts in the wilderness. The wilderness is when we are in that place where we don't know what to do next. Our world feels a little bit like the wilderness right now, doesn't it? There's so much going on around us, and so much confusion and so much doubt. In unity, that's where the devil comes in. So we do not believe in a little man in a red suit with a pointed tail and pointed ears. In the metaphysical world, the devil is the thoughts that we hold as a collective consciousness. It's those thoughts that we hold that are unproductive, those thoughts that we hold that are unloving, those thoughts that we hold that are decisive. Nobody has any of those, right? Nobody gets mad when somebody cuts them off in traffic or the line at the grocery store is too long. When my thought joins with your thought and joins with your thought that joins with thoughts around the world, things like the Ukraine happen, right? There's conflict, there's famine, there's lack, and there's limitation. In all of the cases, they fasted for 40 days. Lent is your invitation to stop complaining. Now, no one ever complains. I only did it about 5 times before I got in the truck this morning. Right? It is your opportunity to fast from those thoughts that keep you out of alignment with Spirit. It's an invitation for you to become conscious of what you are helping to create in the world through your own thoughts, through the own words that you speak. So I invite you this morning to enter the wilderness. Now, the beautiful thing about being children of the one power and the one presence is we never have to do it alone. We don't ever have to do it by ourselves. Jesus went into the desert, went into the wilderness, and it says alone, but we know, based on unity principles, that there is nowhere where. That's right. Because wherever we are, God is. And so even in the wilderness, God is there in the midst. And oftentimes, just as the angels stood at the ready to be with Jesus, we have angels at the ready to help us. And we are so blessed. I am so blessed that many times those angels, those master teachers have skin on. I listen best when they have skin on sometimes, right? So today I want to introduce you to one of my favorite master teachers, the Manatee. I was sharing with Chris and I were sharing Manatee stories earlier. I love to go to Florida in February because that's when the Manatee breed. And I have been so blessed to be able to swim with these beautiful creatures. I had one touch me even though I was trying to avoid it like I'm supposed to. I have faced them eye to eye, and I have seen them swim by me in the kayak. And their gentleness touches my soul. When I look in the eyes of the manatee, I see the eyes of God looking back at me. And so the manatee have some things to teach us about navigating the wilderness. And I want to share those with you today. So lesson number 1. You can't swim forward if your head is looking back. Think about that for a moment. The manatee only have 6 vertebrae in their neck. And so turning their heads is not an option. The only way they can see is forward. What if for the next 40 days you decided to leave the bones in the graveyard? What if you decided to let go of the story of what happened, who it happened to, and how it happened? Just for 40 days. What if you were willing to let go of the past and be fully present right here, right now? Present to the presence. You see, transformation didn't happen back then. Transformation isn't happening tomorrow. Transformation of your life can only happen now, in this present moment. You don't know what thoughts you're going to be thinking tomorrow. I hope they're good. Sometimes my best intentions do not work out. And I can't do anything about what I thought, did, spoke yesterday. I can only impact this moment. And this moment, I choose to align with the presence and with love. Lesson number 2, slow down and be deliberate. I should probably have this tattooed on my forearm, right? I have to tell you, on the way up here, my daughter and son-in-law and my grandchildren came with us, and my daughter followed me. Do you know what it's like to have your daughter follow you in a vehicle? For those of you who like to get where you're going, don't ever have your child follow you. Great. So I was very conscious of the speed limit. My wife even said, wow, you're only going five miles over. I said, yeah, because I don't want to hear it the rest of my life about how fast I was going. And I do want the grandchildren to be allowed in my vehicle on occasion, right? Slow down. I'm going to tell you, the manatee don't ever get in a hurry unless they're afraid they're protecting themselves. They just don't even. When I kayak with them, they don't care if they're in my way. Like, I might as well just sit still and just wait for them to move, because they don't get in a hurry. They slow down. They enjoy that present moment. We are a culture of busyness. Like, we like to get where we're going, get it done, and get on to the next thing. How many have checklists? And your goal each morning is to check everything off, right? As quickly as possible. We are a world that wants everything delivered to us immediately. in Amazon Prime Time, right? Our lesson this 40 days is to slow down. Remember to take a purposeful pause. The other thing about the manatee is they breathe like us, so they don't have gills. So that means they can only stay under the water a certain amount of time, and then they have to raise up. And so they are constantly taking a pause to breathe. What if we could just stop in the midst of our busyness and just remember to breathe? They're also very deliberate animals. So they don't like to have to move fast. So they will intentionally pick a spot that has lots of seagrass and is very shallow because they don't want to have to go very far to breathe there every 20 minutes. And they want to be able to stay where they're at for a long period of time. So they're very deliberate. Deliberate. To liberate. We find our own liberation when we become consciously aware of how we're using our time, consciously aware of the words that we're speaking, the way we're behaving, the thoughts that we're thinking. The way to liberation, the way to freedom is through conscious awareness. Lesson number 3. I love this one. Keep your whiskers clean. Keep your whiskers clean. So for the manatee, their whiskers are their antenna. So it tells them, it helps them see, because they're a little nearsighted, it helps them to see and to sense where the grass is. If there's predators around, it's their antenna to the world. You have antenna too. You were born with a heart. You were born with a gut brain. I just had a gut feeling. You are born with an intuition. How many of you have had experiences of knowing something without knowing why you knew it? Yes. So we have spiritual antenna that act as our inner GPS system, God positioning system, that tells us whether we're in alignment or not. And so keeping our whiskers clean, let's talk about what clogs up our whiskers. Resentment, unforgiveness, guilt, shame, all of that stuff that's sticky sticks to our whiskers. And then we can't be guided to where we need to be. The lesson of Lent is one of releasing and letting go. Letting go of what's dirtying up your whiskers. The psalmist wrote, Lord, make of me a clean heart. Think of that. A clean heart. That's about unburdening yourself so that you can be fully love in essence. And our final lesson is go with the flow. What would happen if you stopped trying to figure out the outcome? If you stopped focusing on what's going to happen next? What if you could just let go and embrace whatever's happening without trying to figure out why it's happening or what you have to do to get rid of it? What if you could just go with the flow? The manatee teach us about trust. They trust their antenna to guide them to the grass that will nourish them. They trust their hearing to warn them if they're in any kind of danger. They trust the flow of the river. You won't see them flowing upstream unless it's an emergency or time for them to migrate. They trust the river's flow to take them where they need to be. What if we could trust God's flow to take us where we need to be? If we could just agree that there is a power and a presence that loves us so deeply that all we have to do is let go and let that Spirit carry us. Karen Drucker sings a song, "Let go of the shore and let the Spirit carry you." Let go of the shore and step in to the mystery. Saint Teresa of Avila wrote, "Let nothing disturb you, nothing frighten you. All things are passing. God never changes." Manatee are great reminders of what we already have within us. That like Jesus, our way shower, our teacher, our brother, we can let go of whatever does not match with the truth of who we are. That we in every moment can choose the path of freedom. Lent invites us to heed the call of our higher selves, a call to experience more freedom, more love, more joy. Will you heed the call? Will you say yes to fasting from what no longer serves you? Will you say yes to having your life transformed? And the beauty is we don't have to do it alone. Not ever. I want to close with my Hugs book, Daily Inspirations. It was a gift from my daughter that I have come to love and cherish. Embraced by God. Every day of our lives, indeed every moment of our lives, we are embraced by God. God is always with us, and God's love for us is deeper and more profound than we can imagine. Actress and author Lisa Whelchel gives this advice: believing that you are loved will set you free to be who God has created you to be. So rest in this love. Let these words serve as a powerful reminder. You are a marvelous, glorious being, created by a loving God who wants you to become completely and without reservation that which you were created to be. My friends, you are indeed glorious beings. You are light in presence and love in essence. And it is my great pleasure to serve you. Namaste. All right. I'm used to Christine doing the other part. All right, let's see, where are we? All right, blessing the gifts. I am to mention that there are glass bowls in the sanctuary by the doors that you can also give on the website, on the donate button, and in the mailing address. So this is the time in the service where we recognize our many, many blessings. So take your offering in your hand. You guys do the blessing? We're going to do it anyway. Okay. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, I give and all that I receive. And in my world, we say, I am joy-filled and thankful. I am joy-filled and thankful. A special thank you to Linda Cantor for all you do in managing the bookstore. Where's Linda? Wave, Linda. We love you, Linda. All right, let's stand together and say the prayer for production. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And now our peace song.
Okay, Unity of Springfield, let's go forth in peace and as peace. Together. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be with God our Creator. We are family. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my solemn vow to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Blessings.